Eleanor Roosevelt was never supposed to be powerful. Born into privilege in 1884, she grew up painfully shy, insecure, and often dismissed. Even after becoming First Lady in 1933, many expected her to remain silent, ceremonial, and safely in the background. Instead, Eleanor Roosevelt became one of the most influential human rights voices the United States has ever produced. During the Great Depression, while President Franklin D. Roosevelt battled economic collapse, Eleanor traveled the nation relentlessly. She visited coal mines, factories, and segregated schools, listening to ordinary Americans, especially women, workers, and African Americans, whose voices were ignored. When officials resisted integration, she spoke anyway. When critics attacked her, she answered publicly. Her syndicated newspaper column, My Day, reached millions, allowing her to challenge racism, inequality, and injustice directly in American homes. After World War II, Eleanor's role grew even larger. When Franklin Roosevelt died in 1945, many assumed her public life was over. Instead, President Harry Truman appointed her as a U.S. delegate to the newly formed United Nations. There, she chaired the Human Rights Commission at a time when the world was scarred by genocide, war crimes, and displacement. Skeptics doubted whether a woman, without formal diplomatic training, could lead such a task. They were wrong. Eleanor became the driving force behind the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. She worked across ideological, cultural, and political divides, negotiating with representatives from the Soviet Union, China, and war-torn Europe. Her leadership helped define human rights not as abstract ideals, but as protections for real people: freedom of speech, freedom from fear, and the right to dignity. In 1948, when the Declaration was adopted, it was a landmark moment in global history, and an American voice had helped shape it. Eleanor Roosevelt called it a Magna Carta for all humanity. She continued advocating for civil rights, women's equality, and social justice until her death in 1962. Eleanor Roosevelt proved that power does not require silence, and leadership does not require permission. By refusing to be quiet, she transformed the role of First Lady, expanded America's moral voice, and helped define human rights for the modern world.